There's many different ways that people make the money in Hypixel Skyblock, and over the years I've tried and tested a lot of them. Ever since I started playing Skyblock and uploading videos on YouTube, back in the day, my go-to money making method was simply auction house flipping. I did many different series where I'd flip to items like Terminators, Juju Shortbows, Hyperions, and then basically give them away. Once I realised it wasn't really financially viable for my time to be giving stuff away that I've spent so long on, I did start to keep items when I did other series, when I flipped other things. But that's besides the point, realistically. I got so bored of auction house flipping that I just stopped, and every time I try to auction house flip nowadays, I just get really bored. However, it's been a really long time until I actually gave it a good go, and I don't really know what the state of it is like at the moment. Now, the great thing about auction house flipping is if you're in the right place at the right time, you can make a ton of money. Also, the requirements are very small. All you really need is a little bit of money to start you off. You don't need skill requirements, you don't need slay requirements, it's just simply access to the auction house. You don't even need the ability to use the items that you're flipping, you just simply need to be able to sell them. Now, over time, more and more items have been moved over from the auction house to the bazaar, and realistically it does make more sense for them to be on the bazaar, but it just means that there's less opportunity for you to make money from them. So I thought today I would try my hand at some auction house flipping and see if it's still viable nowadays and see if we could still make good money from auction house flipping. I'm going to start off with 100 million coins. You can start off with less than 100 million coins. It just means that it's going to take you longer to build the coins up to a point where you can start to make more money back. But in all honesty nowadays, I don't think 100 million coins is a crazy amount of money to be able to get in the first place. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first item I'm picking up is this Necron chestplate. It's ancient, 5-starred, hot potatoed, recommed, wisdom 5, G6, P6, with gemstone slots unlocked. We picked it up for 39 million coins. Now, the next cheapest Necron's chestplate listed is 44 mil with the slots unlocked. However, this has fuming potatoes and ours doesn't. So I'm gonna probably list ours for maybe a little bit more, or around about the same price as this here. Now, if it's to sell for 45 million, this should be 6 million coins before our taxes and listing fees. So we should probably be making around about 3 or 4 mil back from it in profit, which is not crazy, but it's something to start off with. Honestly, it's been so long, I'm just going off what I used to look for. I think there's so many better items now that I could probably flip that I need to look into. But before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS as it gets yourself 5% off. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slays and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Also, if you're not already, you should subscribe to the channel. Okay, so the next item we've bought is this Figstone Splitter, 5 stars, first impression 5, recommed. We've got Absorb on there. We picked it up for just over 14 million coins. I'm going to list it for around about 19 million. The next cheapest that's similar is around about 22. Okay, so we've just bought this Femento helmet. It's got both slots unlocked, and it already has flawless gemstones in it, which go for about 3 million coins each. So that's 6 million coins we can take out. We can replace it with fine gemstones, so you can still see that the slots are visibly there. And we should still be able to sell it on for pretty much what we've paid for it. So we should be able to profit after tax and listing fees. Probably about 5 million coins, I assume, maybe 4.5, which is decent. So we're just going to go ahead and take these gemstones out. And we're going to put a bazaar sell offer up for them. We can try and get a few extra 100k out of it. Okay, there we go. That'll get us just about 6 mil back. And then I'm just going to put fines in there that are about 30 or 40k each. So it looks better. And I'm relisting for the same price that we bought it for. So yeah, good. Okay, so back in the day, what I used to do, if I just had a few coins left over and I didn't know what to spend them on, I used to buy wither goggles, and I used to upgrade them. I used to star the wither goggles to 5-star and then sell them because they used to be decent money. But they changed recently how this works with wither goggles. They changed it so it now costs wither essence to actually upgrade to get more stars on wither goggles, which is fine, but it just means that it costs more money and doesn't really leave much space for an actual profit margin on this. We'd be able to sell these for like 9.5 mil. We paid 5 mil for the wither goggles, and I guess we're paying 3, like 7, 8, 1.5. We'd pay like 3 mil, which leaves us with like a 1 mil profit. Makes more sense for us actually just to straight up list them on the AH. Because the cheapest ones listed are actually, we can 6.4 mil. And we paid 5 mil, so we can make 1.5 mil with less risk and less money actually invested. It's kind of annoying, but I guess that's just the way it is now. So There we go. I mean, the good thing is we can still make a bit of money from doing that. It's not much profit, but it's better than nothing. Okay, so it seems like the 4 items that we bought before have all sold, which is nice. We didn't have to relist any of them. We have 108 mil plus. If we go to the bazaar, we can collect just less than 6 mil. So from those 4 flips, we made around about 15 million coins profit. 15 mil after spending around about 88 mil is pretty decent margins. So let's continue. Alright, so we picked up another Figstone splitter. This one we picked up for 10 million coins. It's 5-starred. It's got the Moonglade Reed Forge. It's got First Impression 5. It has both gemstone slots unlocked, and it has 31,000 logs cut, which I don't really know if that affects the price massively. Not maxed. Anyway, there isn't massive profit in this. I think we should be able to relist it for maybe around about 13.5 million coins. Be able to profit maybe 2 or 3 mil after taxes and stuff. Okay, so we just picked up this Storm Chestplate. It's Recon 5-starred, Hot Potato. It's got Last Stand 5. It's got just nothing crazy on it, to be honest. It has 1 gemstone slot unlocked. And I'm thinking that we're gonna... Oh, a bit expensive. I was gonna unlock the slot and then sell it, but I didn't realize just how expensive this slot would be to unlock. I think we should still be able to resell it for a bit of a profit, considering it does have 1 slot unlocked. It just might be a bit of a more difficult sale. But I don't think it makes sense to unlock the slot and then sell it. There would still be a bit of a margin in it. I might consider it. It depends. I'll have to decide. Okay, so I think we'll be able to sell it for about 47 mil with 1 slot unlocked. Or probably about 55 mil with 2 slots. So it makes more sense just to sell it with 1 slot. Which before taxes and anything is still 7.5 mil profit. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so we picked up some more with the goggles for 6 mil. It's got 2 stars on it. I'm pretty sure we can resell these for 7.5 mil relatively easily. Alright, so we just picked up this Shadow Fury. It's fragged, it's fabled, it's reconned, it's 5-starred, it's hot potatoed, it's got gemstone slots unlocked. Got 1 for all on it, which actually, funnily enough, seems actually pretty popular on Shadow Furies, lip daggers and weapons like that. Anyway, we picked this one up for 48 mil. We should be able to sell it on for maybe just shy of 55. Once all these items sell, we should be up to about 130 million coins. Obviously, that's 30 mil profit off 100 mil in just 2, basically, rotations of flips, which I don't really think is that bad at all. After maybe like 10 minutes of flipping both times, and then just waiting for the items to sell while you do something else, it's pretty decent, relatively passive easy. Obviously, it's not completely passive, but the time that you actually put in, you can make decent money. You really can. Anyway, let's continue. And, well, I'll have to wait now, but yeah. Okay, well, it turns out in the end, the Storm Chestplate probably wasn't the best investment. It's not sold, but everything else did sell. I'll probably just end up cutting my losses here, lowering the price and selling it on. Okay, so we just picked up this Inferno Rod. It's pitching, it's reconned, it's got the gemstone slot unlocked. We paid 20 mil for it. I think we should be able to sell it on for 25 million. So we picked up some Wither Goggles, the 5-starred, hot potatoed, necrotic. We picked them up for 7.8 mil, and we probably should be able to sell these on for around about the 10 mil mark, give or take. Okay, so what we've done here is we've picked up 8 treasure talismans. I'm going to craft them in treasure ring. And just taking a look, we need 8 of these to actually craft the treasure ring. We've paid around about 6.3 million coins for all 8 of them. The cheapest treasure ring listed is 8.5 mil. We'll sell ours for around about 8.4 mil, which will be 2 million coins profit. We just have to craft it first and list it. Okay, so we've just picked up these Necron boots here, the ancient 5-starred, recon, hot potatoed, both gemstone slots unlocked, got wisdom 5 and a few regular enchantments. So once again, these boots have been sold under market value with flawless gemstones in. We'll take the flawlesses out, we'll replace them with some fines, and we can probably still mark up the boots a little bit too, which actually should amount to us making good profit. Take the flawless gemstones out, and then replace them with fine jaspers that are practically free. Should make them a bit more appealing for people to buy. And relist these for 41 million coins. There are some ones that are listed that are similar to ours that are 42, and I think they might be slightly worse. They should sell for that price. So we can go ahead now and put a seller for up. That should be another 8 million coins that we'll get back. And these gemstones are actually filled very, very quickly. Just a matter of seconds, as you can see. Gemstones are a massive part of flipping. Look out for the slots being unlocked, and also look out for those flawlesses or perfects. Okay, so at this point our treasure ring sold really quickly, along with the goggles. So we'll go ahead and collect them and get a few coins back in the bank. 31 mil. Anyway, we're still waiting for things to sell, like this fishing rod. This chest plate was a bad investment. Note to self when I continue flipping: don't buy items that only have one gemstone slot unlocked and try to sell them on, because the demand is just simply not there for them. The prices do fluctuate quite a bit throughout the day, but even still not sold, I think it probably will sell. It buys up a lot of our money. But anyway, I'm a bit rusty. I've not really auction house flipped for a while. I'm going to make mistakes, and it is what it is at the end of the day. It's not the end of the world. Well, lesson learned. Now, up to now, I've flipped a few fig stone splitters, and I've been relatively happy with how they've been going. But I think there might be a bit more to these flips than just simply buying and selling. I think if we can actually craft some up, we might be able to make a small fortune. And I think that's what people are already doing. For instance, this guy here has got 4 of the exact same axes listed. It's pretty obvious that they're being crafted with all the essentials on them. Things like First Impression 5, the Moonglade Reforge, the 5 stars, pretty much everything that you'd want. Now, it'd be interesting to see what the actual cost craft price of these axes are and see if we could potentially then do it. I don't really want to compete with this guy though. I'm just curious. I do want to see how much it costs. So First Impression 5 is 515k to buy it now, which isn't that bad. I guess you could put an offer up at 136k, although I think for the few 100k it's probably not worth the wait. Actually, I'm just going to craft one up. You know, witnessing me trying to craft this fig hue that we can then craft up into the fig stone splitter with the wrong sticks took me quite a while to notice. Quite concerning, really. Yeah, I realised eventually I'm not slow. Now, it took me a lot longer than it should have, realistically, to realise they were not regular sticks. Yikes. Well, it turns out that it is a little bit of a flip just to straight up craft a fig stone splitter and sell it. I think it cost us about 1.1 mil, and you can sell them for around about 1.5. Okay, well, now we need to go ahead and upgrade it with Forest Essence so we can actually get some stars on there. I don't really know how much it costs. I don't think it's really that expensive. Considering Forest Essence is pretty free as long as you just do a bit of foraging, there's no wonder it's cheap. Anyway, there we go. That's 5 stars. Now we've got to put First Impression 5 on there, which is 515k. And last of all, the Moonglade Reforge, and then we should be pretty much done. This is relatively cheap too. About 600k. This person's mainly selling them without boosters, some with boosters, so I'm not going to bother putting a booster on mine. See the point? But he's marked up for boosters, so... This costs 3.6 mil to craft, and he's selling them for 8 mil. It'll be interesting to see if any of his have actually sold for 8 mil. Let's see. He's got a few different variations listed. He seems to be having a little bit of success with them selling, although there is a range. It's not consistent. This was a bit of a waste of time. I don't really know if these are going to sell. I think I'm just going to go ahead and list mine for 6 mil rather than 8 mil and just see if it sells. I'm not sure. In actual fact, that isn't really that bad for money. We made about 3 million coins profit and it sold very quickly. Okay, so we just picked up a pair of Necron boots. These ancient 5-star hot potatoes, Wisdom 5 with your regular standard enchantments. We picked them up for 15 mil, which is actually what I believe to be a steal. We'll be able to sell them on for just over 20 million coins. Well, we just picked up this Livid Dagger here for around about 8 million coins. It's dirty, 5-starred, hot potatoed. We've got combo 5, gemstone slot unlocks, and just regular tier 5 enchantments. Nothing crazy, but good. Like I said, we did pick it up for around about 8 million coins, and I think we should be able to sell it on for around about a 10, 11 million coins. You'll be surprised at how many people still use and want Livid Daggers. Let's see. One thing I definitely will do is pop a fine gemstone into this Livid Dagger. It makes it more appealing for people buying, considering they can see clearly it has the slot unlocked. I'm going to list it for 10.5 million coins. It should be a nice 2 million-ish profit after taxes and fees. It's not crazy profit, but it adds up when you don't start off with too much. And of course, that Figstone Splitter did sell, so we'll go ahead and collect the coins for that. Now, I'm not good at auction house flipping, and for me at this point, I find it a little bit boring. But I just wanted to show that you can still make good money from auction house flipping, even though it is saturated. And realistically, if you don't have much experience in it, you're going to have to accept that you might lose a bit of coins, you know, in the first place when you actually get used to the market. And items are good to flip for you and so on. You will lose sometimes. Not everything plans out, but majority of the time, hang of it, it will work out. Now, I am handicapping myself a little bit because I'm using Bad Lion. And Bad Lion doesn't really have anything that aids you with searching the auction house or flipping or anything like that, which can get a bit annoying. I used to, back in the day when I used to flip, I used to use like Forge with all the mods, and it was way easier. You could search for specific items. Unlike armor and weapons, if you're searching for weapons or armor that have specific enchants, which is a lot of the time what you want to do when you're going for bigger items, you know, those enchants add up. You can't really do it other than literally looking with the naked eye over all of the different listings on Bad Lion. You can't search for specific enchantments on items. It makes it a bit more difficult. It's still doable though. Very doable as long as you still know what you're actually looking for. It's just more tricky. Once everything sells, including the loss that we're going to take and the extra money we've had to pay for relisting and fees and things like that, we at the moment should have made just shy of 150 million coins, which is around about 50% of our money back for not really much active flipping. And obviously if you start with more money, you can make more money back. I thought I would start off with 100k, 100 mil should I say, not 100k. But just to show that you can do it with relatively limited coins. And even less, realistically. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and craft up a few more Figstone splitters in the meantime to get a few more coins back in the bank. And we can collect the Living Dagger that sold for 10.5 mil that we bought for 8 mil. So we've crafted up 3 of these Figstone splitters with all of the upgrades that I mentioned before. We've got the Moonglade Reforge on there. We've got 5 stars. We've got First Impression 5. The cost is about 3.5 mil each. We're going to pick up these Wither Goggles. They are 5-starred, which makes up the bulk of the cost nowadays. The plan is to throw Necrotic on there once we actually get enough coins back from these items selling. And we should be able to make maybe $1.5 million profit or so, give or take. Maybe $1 million. It's not going to be massive profit. We can actually very nearly afford it, which is a bit annoying. We're like 20, 30k away. Anyway, that is pretty much that. We turned 100 mil into, once everything sells, just over 155 mil in the space of about an hour of active flipping. And to be honest, there's people that can make it work. You know, there's people that are way better at AH flipping than me. I'm not even very good at all. I just wanted to prove that it is doable. It is still worth doing for money. While it might not be the best idea for your main, to do for your main money-making method, considering a lot of the time you are waiting around for things to sell, it's something that you can do in between, playing different parts of the game every now and then, because it is basically passive once you've done your 10-15 minutes of searching and finding flips. But anyway, that's going to be all for today. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.